Hi Capricorn, my name is Olivia and this is my channel OJC Astrology, and this is going to be for Capricorn Rising, Capricorn Ascendant. Before I get into this video, I want to mention two things. You may resonate with the sign before or after, so you may resonate with the Sagittarius Rising video or Aquarius video depending on the degree of your Capricorn, because if you're really at the end, you may resonate with Aquarius. If you're really at the beginning, you may have some Sagittarius in your chart and resonate with that. So take that for what it's worth, but this is still for Capricorn Rising. And the second thing I want to mention is that my own opinion as an astrologer is that the Ascendant is the most important point in the whole chart because it makes all your houses. And you're not your rising sign, you are your houses. And it's your Ascendant, your rising sign, that makes your houses, which maps out who you are. So, Capricorn Ascendant, and I call you all, like, Capricorn Ascendant are the masters, but this is because being a Capricorn Ascendant is basically like if you have Saturn in the first house. So if Capricorn Rising is not trying to master something or master a goal, a task, they're trying to master themselves. So the thing is Capricorn Risings are masters, but they're also like go-getters. And these people they're really trying to achieve. These are people who seek opportunity and they desire achievement. So these are people, like, if you're a Capricorn Ascendant, you are naturally building success. You are naturally, that's who you are. Like a Capricorn Rising, when you have cardinal earth in the first house, and you have to think, if you're Capricorn Rising, like I said in the beginning, it's like you have Saturn there. So these are people that they're focused on what they can do. Like, what are they doing here? These are people who feel like, what are they doing here? They feel like they have something to do. So these are people who are very much so goal-based people. They're very much so focused on what they want to achieve, what they're wanting to build, who they're trying to be. Like, they're very focused on that, the utilization of themselves, because they want to do things and achieve things. So these are very ambitious people. They're very ambitious people, and they feel weird when they don't have something that they're working on. Like, these are people who don't necessarily just want to do things just because. Now, you have to think of course, this is just for the rising sign. So based on your sun sign, your moon sign, this is all going to be different. But for the most part, Capricorn Rising is about business. These are people who are about business. If it doesn't benefit them somehow, they will not really feel inclined to do it. Because if it's not giving them something, and if it's not making them feel some type of success, or like if they're doing something with themselves, then they'll feel like, what the fuck am I doing this for? So Capricorn Rising, the fourth house is Aries. So the thing about Capricorn is that in their soul, who they are inside, the fourth house, the subconscious, the emotional self, is very selfish. But the reason for this is because a lot of the times Capricorn is coming from a background or a upbringing where people only help themselves, or they could barely help themselves. So they either come from this space where everybody like just cared about themselves and was telling the Capricorn to do the same thing, like, do what you need to do, you be who you are. Or it's coming from a space of like, let me put it to this way. Capricorn Rising knows that deep down only they know who they are. And Capricorn knows that emotionally they can only really count on themselves. Like, they feel like who they are is who they are. Like, what people don't realize about Capricorn is that, like, when they're alone, because you think of the fourth house as your home. Like, when you're just alone in your room, that's like your fourth house, kind of. When you're just comfortable in your space, what makes Capricorn comfortable is themselves. They have been the source of their own comfort. So the thing is that Capricorn feels that only they understand themselves and only they are looking out for themselves. Like, they feel like nobody really understands them because what is close to them is their self. So Capricorns have this sort of like selfish nature, but it's in a way because they have had to be there for themselves. Like, you know, think of the fourth house rules Cancer. So when you put Aries here, it's like these are people who have had to develop their own emotional nature, and it's had to be for themselves because they didn't necessarily have that really. Like, these are people who rely on themselves. They connect with themselves. And when you piss off a Capricorn rising, trust me that they're in their own space. Like, that fucking person doesn't know me. Like, Capricorn feels like they know themselves and they have themselves. So they're very personally defensive. But this is because they feel like with the Aries fourth house, they feel like they have built everything themselves. They feel like all of the shit that they have gone through, they went through it alone because their soul is their own. They feel like their home is wherever they are. They're their own home. So that's Aries in the fourth house. And this is why Capricorn rising also is only comfortable with people who know themselves. Like, they're very comfortable with people who know themselves, like Aries. Like, they want to feel like they only want to connect with people who are sufficient, who are self-sufficient, because they don't want to be used. They feel like they know how to take care of themselves, so other people should know how to do that too. Now, seventh house being Cancer, the thing is though, is that Capricorn does want connection. Like, Capricorn wants to connect with people. Capricorn doesn't necessarily want to face everything alone. They want all the credit. They want all the credit for themselves. But what they want from others and what they secretly are like seeking in others is emotional support. Because they've always had to support themselves. So this is why a lot of the times Capricorn risings care a lot about their friends even more than their family. Or they are closer to their partners and their friends more than their family. Because the comfort that they didn't receive growing up, or that was just never within themselves through others, they find it in other people. So the thing is that Capricorn wants to be cared for. Capricorn wants to know that people genuinely care about them and are going to stand by them and support them emotionally. The reason Capricorn seeks this in the seventh house is because they feel like if that's not going to happen, then they can just be with themselves and support themselves. Aries fourth house. Like, they only really want to be connected to people, or they only really want to relate to people if those people want to care, and those people will be there. If they're not, then there's no reason for us to even connect. And then we have the 10th house, Libra. So the thing about Capricorn rising is that the status that you're seeking, you can't necessarily do it alone. So here's the thing. Capricorn rising is always building. You're always growing. You're always learning a lot. Like, Capricorn faces a lot of setback and failure and restriction. And a lot of the times Capricorns have had very challenging upbringings to where they felt a lot of pressure on themselves, and they felt like they weren't really supported. So no matter what, Capricorn is striving for success. Capricorn is striving no matter what. If you're a Capricorn ascendant, you are always going to be working towards success, and you will be successful because it's in your nature to provide for yourself. And you want that. You're focused on that. But the thing is that the status that you really seek, and the thing is that with Libra being your 10th house, it's kind of, you can think of it as like Venus is your boss, right? And then the thing is that Saturn rules Capricorn, but Saturn itself, the planet, it rules Capricorn, but it's exalted in Libra. So what Capricorn learns is that relationships can lead them to success. Capricorn rising knows that, like, they can get somewhere so much farther, and they can get somewhere when they actually have people supporting. Like Capricorn knows that, like, if they end up getting all this success but they're all alone, then it never meant anything. Like, Capricorn in a lot of ways is seeking and trying to have success because they want to be able to share that success. Like, Capricorn doesn't want to just have all of this success for themselves. Like, because that's not what it's about for them. Like they feel like the success that they seek is when they can share it with someone, and when it's equal, and when there's someone that is really there and supports them. So Capricorn rising is secretly a very romantic person, like especially with the 7th house being Cancer. Like when they really feel like they can be themselves with you, you know, with Aries 4th house, when they really feel like they can be themselves with you, they will care for you and provide for you with the 7th house Cancer. And then everything that they do in this life, if you are with them, they will feel like what's mine is yours. And that's Libra 10th house. Like they are looking for that. But this is why also a lot of Capricorn risings can attract people that try to take from you, or try to, like, Capricorn has to be careful, because you really don't want to have all the glory by yourself and to feel alone. You really want to feel like you can share it. And the thing is that because Aries is your 4th house, you feel like people weren't really there for you. So what you see success as is being a being in love. Like you feel like the ultimate success is that you have connections with people, and you have a team, or you have a partner, and you want to feel like you're not just succeeding materially, but that you are succeeding emotionally. Capricorn wants success in their relationships above all, because they feel like the only really stable relationship they've ever had is the one with themselves. So one thing that I want to mention, because Capricorn, okay, so if you're Capricorn rising, that means your 12th house is Sagittarius and your 9th house is Virgo. So we can learn from our 9th house, because the 9th house is the house that rules Sagittarius, it rules Jupiter. That's the house that when we're really evolving in life and we're having like awakening periods, and we're ascending in a way, that's 9th house energy. So Capricorn can learn from Virgo, because where Capricorn is stubborn, and Capricorn will just go forward and forward and forward. And Capricorn, it's like Capricorn can only focus on one thing at a time. Capricorn is very tunnel visioned. And the way that you can learn, who you learn from most is Virgo, because Virgo is open to all things. Virgo is adaptable and mutable, and Virgo is not afraid to trip and fall and pick themselves back up. And Virgo keeps going all over. Virgo doesn't stick to just one structure. Virgo finds what works. And this is what Capricorn has to learn how to do, because Capricorn can get so stuck on one vision, on one goal, to where they're not even seeing all of the other options. They're not even seeing all of the other things possible. You're so focused on what you have to do, what you feel you're meant to do. You're so focused on that you don't even see all the ways you can get there. You think that there's one way for things, or there's just these ways, and it's not. There's so many ways to get there. So you have to learn from Virgo. You have to learn to be more adaptable. You have to learn to try different routes. You may think that there's only this one way, but I guarantee you're probably wrong. There's probably so many different ways you can get there. But you have to be willing to make mistakes. You have to be willing to take some losses. Like you can't always try to strive and win to the point to where you're too afraid to lose. Capricorn doesn't want to lose. Sometimes Capricorn won't even play if they feel for even a second that they'll lose. And this is where you lose completely. Because if you would have went through that and you would have learned, then you would have gained more skills. Like Capricorn, their greatest asset is they strive. They keep going. They don't give up. But what you could really learn from Virgo is that sometimes it's less about your persistency and your consistent nature, and it's more about you realizing that you have a lot to learn, and that there is a lot of routes that lead to the one destination. And then with Sagittarius being the 12th house, like the 12th house in a lot of ways is the spirit of people. It's your unconscious self. It's the spirit that drives the vessel. So Sagittarius is your unconscious spiritual self, and that is what creates the physical embodiment of your Capricorn first house. So deep inside, you have the spirit of Sagittarius. And what this means is that Capricorn inside are brave. You know, Capricorn inside believes in their dreams, has a lot of dreams, has so much unconscious, dreamy, imaginative energy. Capricorns, when they're ready to risk it all, they will open themselves up and risk it. And Capricorns, when they're going through stuff unconsciously, they feel that urgency, like, I need to break free. I need to be brave. I need to believe. I need to dream. Like, you guys will feel that energy, because Sagittarius is that Jupiter energy pushing you and telling you, explore, go beyond your comfort zone, go, do it, adventure, seek. Like, you have this like energy inside of you that it's like, when you really need to be brave, a Capricorn can channel bravery. When a Capricorn feels like they're way too stuck, they utilize that Sagittarius energy, and boom. That's why a Sagittarius a Capricorn rising is filled with surprises, because unconsciously they have the Sagittarius there. And what Sagittarius, Jupiter rules Sagittarius. So it's like in their 12th house, they have a lot of unconscious wisdom. They have a lot of these unconscious adventures and imaginative spaces within. So they're very spiritual, and they have a very brave unconscious self, because they've seen a lot. And they've seen it firsthand with Aries in the first house or the fourth house. So they have brave spirits. Sagittarius in the 12th house, you have a very brave, wise spirit that you need to use. But the thing is that Capricorn rising, one of the most important things for you all is that you can be so hard on yourself that you block yourself off from all forms of nourishment. Like Capricorn, because Cancer is in the 7th house, Capricorn needs emotional support. And Capricorn in a lot of ways is the provider, so they need emotional support to be provided to them. And with also Libra being the 10th house, Capricorn rising wants to feel like they want a beautiful legacy. Like, they want a story that's beautiful. They want to feel like their purpose impacted others. They want to feel like they could level with people, and they want to feel like they're making the world a better place. Like, Capricorn Ascendant doesn't want anybody to feel alone. And that's really the Libra midheaven, is that they want to do work in this world and be seen in a way to where nobody is left alone. Nobody feels alone. So they're very driven by that. They're very driven by the idea of connection and the idea of things kind of just being pleasant and falling into place. But you got, like, Capricorn rising, really, again, this Sagittarius spirit is that you are very spiritual and you're very wise. And sometimes Capricorn keeps themselves so dense in reality and so dense in what they feel, what they are expecting of themselves. Like, sometimes Capricorn rising will be pushing themselves so hard and really trying to achieve things so hard, to the point to where they feel like they can't have a love life, they can't be in a relationship, and they don't even feel like connected to source. They feel like it's all on them. They feel like it's all their fault. They feel like if they win, it was their doing. If they didn't win, it was their fault. Like, there's a lot of the Saturnian energy is inflicted on themselves. So they put a lot of pressure on themselves. And the thing is that the Sagittarius 12th house is where they release. So the thing is that Capricorn rising needs to release. They need to do things that challenge them. They need to be brave. Like, when a Capricorn ascendant is feeling a lot of pressure, they'll feel like they need to go on an adventure, or they need to go do something reckless and brave, and then they feel better. And that's the Sagittarius 12th house, because you have the spirit of someone very wise and someone very adventurous and someone who is open and adaptable. And the thing is that you take all of that and you use yourself as a vessel to achieve. But the thing is that you also want happiness. You seek pleasant things. Like with Libra 10th house, you want a love life. You know what I mean? Like, you want relationships, you want connections. You don't really want to be just the person in charge. You want to feel like people appreciate you and connect with you and love you. And this is why you push so hard, because you sometimes Capricorn feels like they're only worthy of love when they have status. And that's a lie. And that's something that Capricorn Ascendant has to work through in life, that you don't have to be successful to be lovable. You don't have to have success in order to be loved. You are always worthy of love, like, no matter what your status is. So all in all, Capricorn Ascendant, these are people who always will show up for themselves. And the thing is that sometimes their family knows the nature of them in ways that nobody else ever will, because the fourth house is Aries. And also, nobody really knows Capricorn rising like they know themselves, because Aries is the fourth house. So only they really know how they feel. Only they really know who they are and what they're capable of. And then even just the eighth house being Leo, and when they're alone and their hidden self, their subconscious world, they're brave. They have big spirits. They have a big ego. They have a lot of confidence. But they know that. Like, they only know that. And the thing is that they only show the world through the first house is that they're on a mission. They're busy. They're working on something. And they really only show that to... You really will only know a Capricorn when you show up as that seventh house and you really care about them. Because if anything, a Capricorn rising knows when people really give a fuck, and when people are just there for the ride, or there for the entertainment, or they're just there to low-key see whether you make it or not. Like, Capricorn rising knows that some people they're not genuine. So the only way you'll really be in their life is if you truly are genuine. And yeah, that's really what I have to say about Capricorn rising. It's really all about the work you do, and that you're always in a state of striving. But just know that you will always be, you are here to be successful. So don't push so much for success to the point to where you neglect your emotional needs and you neglect your spirit and your desires. Because if you, at the end of the day, Capricorn doesn't want all that success if they're going to be alone with it all. Like, people think that Capricorn wants to just sit in a fucking mansion full of money. But the thing is if a Capricorn is sitting and on a bunch of success and they're all alone, that it would have meant nothing. It would have meant nothing anyways. So that is what I have for my Capricorn Ascendant, and I'm sending you all my love. I'm a Capricorn Ascendant at 0 degrees, so I share Sagittarius energy, but I'm a Capricorn Ascendant. Thank you all for being here. I'm sending you all my love. If you like this video, you can like, share, comment, subscribe. Like I said, my name is Olivia. This is my channel, OJC Astrology, and let's get into Aquarius.